Okay, let's dive into something pretty big that's changing how things move around the world. You know how airline ticket prices or maybe Uber fares they can change like hourly, right? Well, imagine that, but for truck freight, getting goods delivered. By 2025, the price to ship stuff could literally be changing hour by hour. And here's the kicker, the really surprising part. It's not going to be people haggling over rates. Nope. It's going to be sophisticated AI algorithms. So that's what this deep dive is all about today. We're going to unpack why truck prices are getting so, well, fluid, how this robot brain, as some call it, actually works, and maybe most importantly, what does this all mean for you, for your everyday life? You know, the food you eat, the clothes you wear, how it all gets to the store, and yeah, what it might mean for your wallet too. It really is a fundamental shift. So let's try and get our heads around it.
Yeah, it's fascinating, isn't it, how fast this is
Yeah,
happening? I
yeah.
mean, freight pricing, it's traditionally been, about long-term deals, people negotiating, pretty stable stuff. And
Right.
now, bang, it's being redefined by automation. And with such precision, this isn't just tweaking things for a bit more efficiency. It really is a whole new way of thinking about value in an industry that, let's face it, underpins almost everything we buy and use. Before, rates were maybe set quarterly, pretty predictable. Now, value is constantly shifting, reacting to tiny little events in real time. It gives incredible flexibility, sure, but wow, does it demand carriers and shippers to be adaptable, like really adaptable?
That phrase recalibration of value, that really hits home. So, okay, what's actually making these prices jump around so much? Hourly changes, I mean.
Hmm.
Why? Why would a truck price suddenly spike or maybe drop off? There must be a ton of factors.
Exactly, a ton. Fundamentally, what we're seeing is just classic supply and demand, but on hyperspeed, managed by algorithms. So when you've got more trucks available than people needing them, well, prices tend to go down, naturally. But flip that when demand surges and there aren't enough trucks free, prices shoot up. It's that market balance, but calculated almost instantaneously. And then beyond just the number of trucks and loads, the material we looked at points to other key things like how urgent is the shipment? You need a truck right now, you'll likely pay a premium. Got some wiggle room, maybe wait a bit, you might get a better deal. And then there's all the external stuff, right? Traffic jams, big snowstorms, unexpected road closures. Any of that can mess with the truck's schedule and efficiency, so boom, the price adjusts almost immediately.
Okay, so with all that complexity and the speed you're talking about, it makes you wonder who or maybe what is actually making these decisions so fast. It just doesn't sound like something a person could keep up with, juggling all those variables in real time.
You've hit it exactly. That's where this AI freight pricing comes in. The research calls it an advanced autonomous system. You can sort of picture it like a dedicated robot brain that does nothing but logistics and pricing, constantly crunching numbers. This system takes in just a staggering amount of data. Milliseconds is all it needs. It knows like exactly how many trucks are where, who needs one, what gas prices are doing right now, live weather feeds, traffic patterns, all of it across whole regions. It's really about predictive analytics, but just on a massive, massive scale.
Predictive analytics on a massive scale.
Wow.
That sounds incredibly powerful. Can you break that down a bit more? How does this robot brain actually predict things?
Sure. It's not just looking at what's happening now, it's forecasting what's about to happen. Think of these really complex algorithms, right? They're constantly digging through mountains of data, historical prices, how traffic usually flows at certain times, detailed weather forecasts coming up, even tiny shifts in fuel costs. And by analyzing all that, it can predict when and where there's likely going to be a shortage of trucks or maybe a surplus. So it doesn't just react, it proactively suggests the optimal price based on what it expects. Our sources pointed out that Uber Freight, the Uber for trucks idea, they're really pushing the envelope here. Apparently, they've even patented some super advanced algorithm for this robot brain. The goal by 2025 is to make these dynamic pricing models even smarter, even more fine-tuned. It's moving past just reacting to real-time info towards truly sophisticated forecasting that learns and anticipates.
Okay, this really feels like it's turning the whole logistics world upside down. But let's bring it back to, our listener, someone who probably isn't booking truck freight themselves. How does this actually touch their daily life? Because it feels like it could impact everything, right? From getting a new phone to, I don't know, the price of apples at the grocery store.
You're absolutely right. This is where it connects to everyone. So on the one hand, yeah, the things you buy, toys, electronics, fresh food. They could get to stores faster. And maybe the shipping cost baked into the price is optimized because the system is just so good at matching trucks with loads efficiently. And for the truckers, the carriers, it can mean finding better paying routes when demand is high, maximizing their income. And, when freight prices dip because there are too many trucks, stores save cash. And theoretically, some of those savings might get passed along to you, the consumer. That's the upside. But, and this is important, there's the other side too. Just imagine if a sudden spike in demand, or maybe a big storm somewhere, causes freight costs to jump overnight. We could start seeing more volatility in the prices of everyday goods, stuff that seemed stable before. Those prices might start reflecting the real-time bumps in the supply chain much more directly.
That potential volatility is a really key point, isn't it? It's just wild to think about prices changing like airline fares, but for shipping basic goods. The material we reviewed definitely highlights the good news, AI making pricing fair, fast, taking out the guesswork. But I got to ask, for an industry this vital to, well, everything, does this super fast dynamic system create new headaches, maybe for smaller companies trying to budget their shipping, or even, like you said, for consumer prices overall?
It really does. It's such a fundamental change. For years, decades even, freight was about relationships, right? Phone calls, maybe shaking hands on a deal, stable contracts.
Yeah.
And now it's this sort of invisible hand, these algorithms reacting in the blink of an eye. The efficiency, you can't deny it. It's impressive. But yeah, the possibility of prices swinging rapidly means businesses have to develop new strategies. Smaller businesses especially might find it challenging. They'll need to be really nimble to manage their shipping budgets effectively in this real-time market. It really marks a move away from those predictable negotiated rates to something much more, well, alive and responsive for a service we all depend on.
So, okay, next time you're out and you see one of those big semi-trucks on the highway, just pause for a second. Remember that it's route, it's schedule, and yeah, probably the price paid to get it there. Yeah. It's all likely being calculated and optimized by this unseen AI. Which brings us to our final thought for you to chew on. If this AI-driven pricing really does mean more efficiency and potentially lower costs for you in many cases, would you be comfortable letting a robot decide the prices for other essential things in your life? Even if it means prices might jump around more, things that really impact your day-to-day. Is that trade-off efficiency versus potential volatility decided by AI something you'd embrace? Something to think about.